Like they call it the doghouse.
So after Tyson Fury's loss to Alexander Usyk this past weekend in the big undisputed fight for all the marbles in the heavyweight division, there is a funny thing here. So Tyson Fury not long ago was once the hero of British boxing, was the man who everybody loved. He came back, had a crazy story, was out the ring for so long, came back, lost all the weight, put in an incredible performance against Deontay Wilder. Realistically should have got the decision, didn't get it. He then had a few fights, then beat Wilder again, then beat him again in a crazy fight. Tyson Fury at that point had everybody on his side. Everybody loved him. However, it seems from that point onwards that it has all started to go a little bit downhill when it comes to the public's perception of Tyson Fury. And I kind of want to delve into this and where it actually has gone wrong. Because Tyson Fury, to me, my own personal view, initially, build up to the Vladimir Klitschko fight, wasn't a fan of Fury's. Recognised the talent was there, but I wasn't particularly big on him. He beat Klitschko in a great performance, near my respect, and from that point he did start to get me on side a little bit, but I felt like he was just a little bit too, I don't know, it just wasn't for me what he was doing. But he's entertaining, I will give him that. Goes away, and I think people then start to almost made fun of him a little bit. Because obviously he had gained a lot of weight, and people, like naturally as the internet does, mocked him online, and it kind of made me think that people did almost forget how good this guy was. So then he came back, and I think he had everybody on his side, including me. Did amazing in the build up to the Wilder fight. Did a great job promoting that and really getting everybody on side. And I think at that point he then put in a great performance, and everybody loved him after that. Where I think it has gone is, I think Tyson Fury, I don't know if he's medically got it, or if it's I don't know what the word, if he's been diagnosed with it, but I'm pretty sure he has bipolar disorder, and because of that, Fury has this thing where he will say one thing and then say something completely different. He will call Alexander Usyk a middleweight, say that he's nowhere near his level, and then come out and say he's the best guy he's ever fought. He will then come out, say he wants to fight Anthony Joshua, and then claims he doesn't want to fight him. He will then come out and say Deontay Wilder is amazing, and then say he's not. He'll come out and say he's boxing. No, you get the point. He goes back and forth, Fury, and because of this, fans never really know what to believe with him. Then I think this whole fiasco with the Usyk fights, and consistently talking about he doesn't want to fight him, and then he'll call Usyk out, and then the way he would criticize people, Tyson Fury, I don't think it would annoy people, but it almost got a little bit boring after a while. And I think the reason I feel like people really turn on him is because Alexander Usyk is a pretty easy guy to make fights with, and the fact that they had such a drama leading up to it, it does speak a lot about the way Tyson Fury and his team sometimes can conduct business. One thing that annoyed me was the arbitration thing with Deontay Wilder, where the fight with Joshua was sealed for Fury and Joshua to fight, and because of the arbitration they had to scrap that, and then the contract was there for Fury to fight Wilder. Absolute joke. And his whole team, to me, either Tyson Fury's team are incompetent and they genuinely thought they were going to not get the arbitration, or they just conned the whole public. Either way, it wouldn't surprise me. And from that point on, then you've also got in the past where he's had fights with Vladimir Klitschko. He was supposed to fight Vlad the second time, and he pulled out. And then if you then look, I think it was the John McDermott fight was another one where there was a bit of a fiasco. He's had this before with a lot of fights where he's constantly going in and out. And I think he's very critical of David Haye, but Fury very much is cut from that same cloth of constantly, we don't know what he is, what he wants to do. And I think this whole thing of Tyson Fury being this people's champion is kind of gone. There's a narrative that he gave all his money to charity, I think, after the Wilder fight, but I don't know if that's ever been confirmed either, and now people are calling him a liar for that. I think this whole narrative, fighting-wise, that he's some slick defensive fighter, but now he gets hit all the time, he's getting dropped all the time. 8 times he's been down in his career, which is ironically less than Anthony Joshua, who is supposedly a stiff robot. And a man who fought Usyk twice, I might add. And I think it's an interesting thing with Fury now, because I think now people are almost glad he lost, and he is getting a lot of stick for it. I don't think Big John Fury has helped his case at all. Acting the way he does, I do think that the public likewise are very much sick of John Fury, and I think John Fury has this weird complex going on where he does like to be the centre of attention, and really, I feel sometimes does take the shine away from his sons a little bit, more so Tommy than Tyson, because Tyson's already a big superstar, but in the lead up to the KSI fight, John Fury was literally the whole almost mouthpiece of Tommy, and to me, it shouldn't really be like that. You should let the fighter take stage, and maybe because John didn't have that successful career as a fighter, he wants to sort of relive it. I don't know what it is, but I think without a doubt, John has not helped it. And him talking about how no man born from his mother will beat him and all this kind of stuff. All of these things about how Tyson Fury is some unbelievable fighter. Fury is a very good fighter, but this talk of being greatest heavyweight of all time has completely gone out the window. And now everybody sees that Fury was good, but nowhere near as good as a lot of people in his little cult would have you believe. He gets hit a lot. He's not defensively slick. As much as people, even a lot of people still bought this narrative, it would not be easy fighting Anthony Joshua if Tyson Fury fought, no matter what point Joshua was at, because ultimately, Anthony Joshua is still one of the best in the world, and he's even shown it. Now, I think at this point, I would still say Joshua is second now after Usyk, even though Fury did put up a great performance, especially when you consider Joshua dispatched of the man who Tyson Fury had a life and death battle of within 2 rounds. I think Fury, his reputation has really gone down, and I do think we're at a point now where I think he's going to have to really do something crazy to really get that back. I do think the public have pretty much all sided with Usyk and wanting to win, and then coming out after the fight and talking about how he only got the decision because his country's at war. I won't go crazy on him for that, because people do say a lot of crazy things after a fight, especially as he probably was concussed. He was saying Happy New Year in May. It wasn't all there, Fury, and I think people, I understand what he said was very classless, but I do think you do get, I don't want to say give him some slack, but you got to sometimes understand, especially when you watched so many fights and so many fighters get interviewed, they're not always in their right frame of mind when that happens, and I think his corner failed him. I do think Sugar Hill seems like he's almost, it feels like Sugar Hill's almost done with Tyson Fury at this point, because he's not, I don't know, he doesn't have that same attentiveness to him that I feel like he once did. Especially, I think, when you see in the corner him, Andy Lee, and Big John Fury, all there, which I don't think is good for Tyson at all. I think having too many voices in there is honestly just going to hurt you even more. And to me, Tyson Fury at this point in his career, you could have just been honest, said who you wanted to fight. I think Tyson Fury only fights guys who he gets excited by. I think I've said this in the preview, and I feel like he never wanted to fight Usyk. And to me, he's at a point now where I just don't, I think the public are sick of him, and I do think he has damaged his reputation a lot. And this wasn't like I felt initially where he got a lot of criticism, but it was more because of just the way he was. I think once you lie to the public, once you start putting on these fights with a washed Derek Chisora for a 4th time, and or 3rd time even, and then it feels like it was that long. He probably will fight Chisora. I won't shock me at this point. And then when you fight an MMA fighter and go on and then almost have a life and death fight with him, this is what gets everybody to turn against you. And I think he's at a point for where everybody's really is against him. And I won't be shocked if he pulls out a great performance against Usyk in the second fight, because he has invoked the rematch. But I don't know, it's a long way back. But just let me know what you think. I think Tyson Fury's reputation really has gone down with a lot of boxing fans, a lot of British fans, a lot of American fans seem to love Tyson Fury because of the way he beat Wilder and all the stuff he did over there. But in reality, Fury is a good heavyweight. He's not a great heavyweight. Like I said, in the adages, a good big man beats a good little man. But Fury's a good big man, but Usyk is a great little man. And I think you saw the difference when Usyk's time came in that fight. Fury just could not compete with him. And again, he moves well for his size, but ultimately, Fury, you can touch him. And getting knocked down 8 times in his career, I do wonder now if we may start to see a little bit of a landslide effect with Fury, where people do realise that he can be hit, and do realise that, his chin maybe isn't as great as it seems to be. I do think he beats majority of the people, but I do think against the top guys he may still have some issues. But just my thoughts, let me know in the comments below, and until next time.